This is David Wallace. He's the former director of OSHA. He's being asked the question during an interview, does OSHA enforce the NFPA 70E standard? In other words, can you be fined for not following the 70E standard? When he's done, I will clarify his answer with you.
We have in the past, I don't want to say we've enforced 70E because that would be inaccurate. We can't cite an employer for not following 70E, but we can cite an employer for two things. The one thing is we can cite them for violating our existing requirements. We have our general PPE requirement in 1910-132 requires basically the employer to provide personal protective equipment where it's necessary for protecting employees. And the second area is in 1910-335, we have a general requirement for the employer to provide protection from electric arc and shock hazards. And those are very general requirements. So in order to enforce those requirements, generally we have to show that it's industry practice to provide certain types of protection or the extent to which protection should be provided. In that case, we can look to 70E. We've done that in the past. I believe it was Ford Motor Company was cited, and we had signed a settlement agreement with them, and they've agreed to follow 70E in adopting and addressing some of these issues that really aren't spelled out in black and white in the OSHA standard. I mean, that it certainly seems to me that if I'm an employer and I want to comply with a general requirement for protecting my employees from electric shock and electric arc, that the first place I'm going to look is 70E in that workplace.
Ford set the bar. Back in 2000-2001, Ford had a series of electrical deaths due to arc flash. OSHA came in to investigate and asked Ford, what are you doing to protect your workers from this known hazard? Ford said, well, we got this whole insulated glove thing down pat. We've been doing that since 1976. We were protecting our workers from electrocution, but we're not really sure what to do to protect them from catching on fire. So OSHA referred them to the latest edition of the NFPA 70E document, which referred to fire-rated clothing. Ford grabbed the document, read the document, decided that we are going to adopt 70E. So when they adopted 70E, that forced the suppliers that do work in their facilities to also adopt 70E, which forced their competition to adopt 70E, and their suppliers to also adopt 70E. To date, no industry is exempt from following 70E unless they already have a standard in place and are following it.